Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all doing well, and welcome to this community showdown. It's going to be the Empire led by F-Pod facing off against Nurgle, who's going to be helmed by Subutai here on the Glade of the Ever Queen. And yes, we do have Franz versus Kugath, quite an epic duel. Let's see how this one goes. Now for the Empire build here, it is going to be some Free Company Militia out of the Vanguard deployment. Very good against Nurgle. Obviously, they'll lose against most Nurgle infantry and melee, but their dual purpose in their Vanguard deployment is really nice. Their shooting can be very effective against toads and Nurgle monsters that don't have the best armor, and their ability to get up on points and put up a formidable fight is very, very nice. A couple war wagons. War wagons are always great against Nurgle. Nurgle and Furies in general are very good at shutting down traditional shooting, like handgunners. Maybe you get away with some Ironsides on the right map, but there's a lot of hills and slopes here, and I think that would be tricky. So war wagons are your safe shooting that are very hard to shut down. So you get two of those and you just shoot at the big targets. We got Spearmen with shields. We have a Jade Wizard, which you can't leave home with Franz without healing. It's very mandatory. And yes, we do have two Knights of the Black Rose. Epic. These guys popping out of the trees. And Knights of the Black Rose are really good against Chaos factions in general. Probably all of them, to be fair. I think they're going to be one of my preferable cap choices in tandem with Empire Knights just to be cheap. But these guys can go fisticuffs with Chaos Warriors, with Marauders, Pestigors, Zangors, eventually Korngors, whatever you're looking to do. And they'll hold for a long time. They have good killing power against infantry and 50 MD. Really, really good unit. And ITP on top of that, so not going to get terror routed. And that's pretty much it for the Empire army here. And for the forces of Nurgle, Nurgle's Pestilent Glory, it is going to be Kugath Plaguefather, backed up by a lot of Marauders. We got Marauders with great weapons. Double Cultist is the classic. Double Cult is very, very good. I like that choice by Subutai here. They're annoying. They heal. They can move up and pressure guns if they need to and can sit on points and provide capture weight. And they get to summon a Plague Bearer. What's not to love? Although he didn't bring the Plague Bearer summon. Actually just went for the debuff icon. Okay. Interesting there. We'll see how that goes. A couple of Marauder Horsemen of Nurgle, which are, you have to bring them with Chaos. Otherwise, you're just really at the mercy of the Empire and, many other factions' mercy. Having the throwing axes, look how much damage they've already done to Franz, right? Throwing some fat axes in his face here is not bad. And look, Franz is now at his old HP at 5,900. Franz is certainly great. I think he's good against a lot of the Chaos factions because of his magic damage. Makes him an excellent sniper for some of those demons and demon characters and things like that. But Throwing Axe is going to be forced back here by the Knights of the Black Rose, but they still can kite them and do some good work. And the Empire player here, F-Pod, is going to be using his dreaded War Wagons to move over and screen them out. Very, very good choice for sure. War Wagons shooting some shots into the Cultists. And it looks like Subutai is going to go for a wide push, which is normal. Against Empire as Nurgle, you probably want to just do an all-around push, like hit every objective hard and fast. Or you could Alpha Strike one point, but like the width and just the fact that your infantry are so much better than the Empire's, you want to take advantage of that. And it looks like that's what he's going to be doing. It's a little bit hard to tell, actually. It looks like maybe he's just going to roll to this point. We will have to see. So Franz is going to be descending from the heavens. Reikland Runefang and Galmaraz popped, and he goes after the Cultists. But classic Total War mechanics here. You can see the Cultists being escorted to the Shadow Realm here. And Franz doesn't get any damage in there. So that feels pretty bad. That does happen sometimes. It's weird. Like, if you see that happening, you need to just stop Franz from moving for a second and then attack again, and you'd be okay. But it's a bit of a janky thing for sure. A couple Marauder Horsemen move into melee, but the Knights of the Black Rose do force them off the wagons here, so they are going to be forced to run. I think Subutai was busy microing over here, so his Marauder Horsemen got caught up a little bit. Knights of the Black Rose didn't take too much damage. They pull back, and now we see some Pistoliers. Pistoliers are a really cool unit. It's a shame that they're so haggard in Tabletop. For some godforsaken reason in Tabletop, they have a rule called Impetuous, which means they have to charge. If they roll it, they're not always, but there's many situations where they're forced to charge, even in bad situations, because they're so eager to fight, which is just awful. You don't want that for the Empire. Empire's not that kind of faction. And for Khorne, it's whatever. At least my units are good in melee, but Pistoliers are, they don't want to be in melee. Up in the sky, we see old Franz duking it out with the Furies and trading pretty well. His magic damage doing well as Furies are dragged down from the heavens. But Objective 2 is going to be taken by the Plague God, and the rest of the forces of Nurgle are pressing, but being attacked by the Knights of the Black Rose. But it looks like they traded well. The Cultists in tandem with the Great Weapon Marauders doing very well. But a bit of a strange play here. Leaving that back objective open, I think that F-Pod is probably going to see it and just send some units up there, like his Spheres and his Free Company, and probably get that. And Nurgle has a very slow build. With Kugath, obviously, you're the epicenter of your power is going to be very slow. It's at 28 movement speed. So he's going to be waddling like a true potato here, and that's going to give the Empire the opportunity to maybe snipe their back objective. In the meantime, the Prince and Emperor back here rampaging on Deathclaw, -8 leadership and terror. Pretty nice. Blood Roar is a good ability, and you can see these guys get terror routed back pretty quickly. They don't want any of that Prince and Emperor, the main character in Warhammer Fantasy there, certainly showing what's up. Knights of the Black Rose and Blazing Suns in combat. Black Rose are being left in sustained combat and doing well. That was not a bad stream of corruption there from Kugath. He finally gets in range. Probably not too much value yet. And he's got 500, I guess, just from his magic and throwing his little toilet bombs there. But like I said, a bit of a mistake here from old Subutai leaving that back point undefended against a very mobile faction. Because with Nurgle, you really want to... Oftentimes the Empire will outvalue you, so you win on the objectives. Although it looks like Subutai is doing very well on value. He's up by 800, and they both have healing. So yeah, good on him. Great play. So Pistoliers being chased by the Furies, but they should be able to kite them effectively and not take too many losses. Here on the home point, we do see Marauders versus Spearmen with shields. I think the Marauders lose that just because of the wagon support and just the numbers. And here the Free Company Militia and Spearmen have arrived to the point. The Empire didn't quite flip that, so good response there from old Nurgle as they continue fighting over here, maintaining about a 700 value lead, while the Prince and Emperor takes a lot of damage from those, not Centaurs, but from those Marauder Horsemen throwing axes. But it looks like he did effectively chase him off the battlefield. So that's probably like 400 or 500 value that isn't going to be reflected in the damage value, damage meter. Getting those 2 Marauder Horsemen, although they were very beat up, that's still a lot of DPS that you've gotten off the battlefield. So Free Company Militia and Spearmen are being pushed back by the hordes of Pestigors using their Vanguard deployment to... What the hell is that? That's like a... You guys see that tree there? That looks like it's from like Doom or something, like from like an old 90s game. That's pretty fun. I don't know why that just like, that was like a nostalgia trigger for me. I don't know about you guys, but that was just like, yeah, old school gaming right there. In the middle, we do see the Empire Mobility though doing well. It is a big brick of elite cavalry. So the Knights of the Blazing Sun and I believe Black Rose are fighting shoulder to shoulder, which is a classic tank and spank combo. And Franz here with the Reikland Runefang putting their stats up to 61-51. They're going to be crushing these heretics. And this is where you kind of worry about bringing Kugath. Although if you're going to be bringing Kugath, this map is probably not a bad choice because you have a home objective, which is easier to defend. But he's such a chungus that you can Benny Hill him and play ping pong very effectively, right? He's just going to be waddling. That's almost 3,000 gold that isn't in combat, although he's already up to 1,100 value just from throwing his bombardment. So that's just a testament to how powerful he is. But here's a big charge. The Prince and Emperor with the Knights of the Blazing Sun. Epic charge for Sigmar, hammering into those foul heretics as we do get the Knights of the Black Rose surrounding these Marauders of Nurgle over here as well. The anti-infantry bonus of them doing, certainly paying dividends here this game. And the Sons of Sigmar might have an opportunity to steal this back point. We will have to see. A couple Spearmen coming over, and Franz and company do rout off 1 unit of Marauders and actually shatter them. Pestigor is probably going to be going down rather quickly as well. Knights of the Black Rose doing work. And in the back, we do see those Furies. Those are the same Furies. They've just been chasing those Pistoliers. And, Pistoliers cost 500 gold. Furies cost, I think, like 600. So if the Pistoliers can just run in circles and drag them to their death and keep a couple models left, then it's a big win. So Knights of the Black Rose coming out of the trees. The reinforcements of Sigmar have arrived as they surge down the hill and hammer into the Marauders. Not that their charge bonus is amazing, but their sustained combat prowess should get the job done against the Marauders. Furies have crumbled, but not before they break the Pistoliers, and Kugath has arrived. So probably what you're going to be seeing is the State Troopers being left to their own devices to hold the objective for as long as possible, and the Prince and Emperor is going to be taking his cavalry and maneuvering back over towards objective number 3. Currently, as it stands, Subutai does have an 1,800 gold value lead. There is an Earth Bloom for the Empire, and what is Subutai rocking? Okay, he's got Miasma and Fleshy, so he's got healing too. I don't know how much he's used it yet. We'll have to see. I've seen streams and I've seen this, but the Empire has been healing a lot. We've seen Franz get multiple Earthbloods. That is the Tears of Nurgle right there. Knights of the Black Rose trying to fight, but we do see Subutai reclaim this back objective here against old F-Pod, while the Knights of the Black Rose and the Spearmen surge on over to objective 3. And in the woods, do we have a threat? No, just some beat-up Knights of the Black Rose, which will likely be unsummoned here. A very close match. Nurgle definitely in a slightly favored position here, being ahead on points and on value, but Nurgle is one of those factions that, like I said, is very slow, and it gives your opponent, especially someone like, who's playing the Empire, to isolate things like, because now you have Kugath here, right? This is your big power piece, whereas Franz, with his almost 100 movement speed, is going to be able to move over here, support the Spearmen, probably potentially kill a cultist, and get routes on all these units and take the objective. So the pacing of that can be very, very tricky. That's often why you see a lot of Nurgle players play more mobile Nurgle style, using the Sorcerer Lord on just like Horse, for example, and a couple Exalted Heroes, or, I guess you don't really see mounted cultists, but you can do that as well against Empire. It's honestly not a bad idea. But Franz is on his way over. I bet you Kugath is getting close to paying for himself, though. Those fights have been good. 1,500 isn't terrible at all. And the Prince and Emperor is going to be descending. Immediately gets a terror route there, or just a natural break on those Marauders. And will he turn his sights onto the Cultists? I do not believe there's Plague Bearer summons on these Cultists. I think they're just there for the debuffs. So yeah, they just brought the Icon of Eternal Virulence, which is very, very good. It gives negative 20 damage, which is not 20% damage, which is very strong. But Franz just showing this guy who's boss, immediately terror routes him. And the Sons of Sigmar do move up in the point. We see Chungath on his way over. So Eric Cartman of Although Eric Cartman is for sure got to be Greasus, right? Greasus is like Cartman incarnate. Although, yeah, Kugath is in the family for sure. I guess it depends on what episodes we're talking about. Free Company Militia camping on the back objective here, as we do see Halberdiers and Spearmen on their way over to Objective 2. And the forces of Nurgle are looking a little bit thin on the ground. I mean, we have the Plague Toads here. These Pestigors are getting routed. Huge cavalry charge coming in from the Knights of the Black Rose, which are going to be slowed down to 20 movement speed right now. And Kugath is in danger as well. I mean, there's a lot of spears here, not a ton of shooting. If like a silver bullet call in or something, but silver bullets are so vulnerable against Furies. Like handgunners, you can bring in a lot of matchups, but against the Chaos factions, I think it's very risky. I think wagons are the way to go. Against like maybe Tzeentch. Yeah, Tzeentch, I think bringing a silver bullet is probably okay, because although with Centaurs of Tzeentch being a thing, yeah, I forgot that they existed. No, it's tricky, because oftentimes Tzeentch will trade very well in the cavalry game now. So Franz getting the revenge for that meme earlier. He actually hunts down this cultist and is going to be bullying him pretty bad. Kugath going to be more dissensioning down the Spearmen and using a Stream of Corruption to try and clear space, and he does get a terror rout on the Spearmen, and the second Spearman unit gets bathed in Nurgle filth. This is a really, really close game on score, but we do see Free Company Militia making a quick move for it, as well as some War Wagons. War Wagons are decent late-game battering rams and capture weight, and there is going to be a Pistolier call in. Pistoliers are very good against Pestigors. Pestigors have like no missile mitigation whatsoever, I don't think. Yeah, maybe they do have something. Okay, they have a little something. Wow, really? 25? Oh, Scaly Skin. Okay, I was like, I don't remember them having that, but yeah, they certainly do. But even still, they only have 35 armor, so the Pistoliers will put some hurt on them, and this objective could be a flip. You know, Pistoliers have good capture weight. I think they're a very underutilized unit for the Empire. Their ability to move up and provide 4 capture weight with that super insane speed of 90 speed is great for the Empire. Very, very nice. So Karl Franz healed up to full, and he's certainly bullied this cultist. We see Chungath here and company going to be taking over the objective, so old Subutai playing whack-a-mole. But the Empire's mobility has kind of pulled the value back. You can see it's only a 400 value difference. I would say even the Empire's ahead in value right now because of the units they've routed off the battlefield earlier on, and obviously Franz has been getting a lot of heals. Kugath has probably dropped some healing as well. Granted, he hasn't needed to as much. Here on the side, Knights of the Black Rose going to dominate these Marauders. Marauders, they do have great weapons, so they can fight, but their MD on those Knights of the Black Rose, and that charge impact, brutal. If they decide to stay, that's going to be probably a victory for the Knights of the Black Rose. And the back objective has been taken as well. We do see Objective 1 going to the Sons of Sigmar, a couple of Free Company Militia hustling up here, and Pistoliers are getting nibbled on to Subutai with a proper call-in using Chaos Warhounds, just the cheapo ones. To go after the Pistoliers is a good call. You definitely want to go after them, and they are going to get taken to Pound Town here, most likely routed off. So how long will the Empire hold on? Halberdiers are a very stalwart unit. We got a Free Company Militia, another Spearman, and War Wagons. I think it's going to take Nurgle quite some time to get this point. And Franz, the thing is, Franz can go over there. You know, Kugath is a little bit more selfish here. Although Grandfather, he gives out his blessings. He's not as selfish, right? I'm sorry, Kugath. But Franz is going to come and provide. He's going to come party with his men, for sure. And he's going to be providing Reichel and Runefang. Blood Roar will be insanely effective against low leadership Warhound units, right? Another -8 in tandem with the terror-causing unit. You're probably going to see these guys rout almost instantly if Franz charges them. And he does. Warhounds, are they going to break? It probably will be a second. So 1, 2, and 3, and they break. That's usually the timing. You can count like 3 seconds from impact with those terror-causing units, and they break. And the Pestigors and the Doggos are going to be fleeing for the hills. Objective number 1 owned by the Sons of Sigmar. And it's getting a little bit dodgy for Nurgle, right? Nurgle's got this like big brick here. They have Kugath, they have some Plague Toads, and what appears to be some Marauders of Nurgle. But Franz is just taking over. He's rampaging all over the battlefield. He's taking down the cultist. It's causing a lot of havoc. Also, Knights of the Blazing Sun getting a bit of a... There are a lot of like these pencil formations from this player. I don't think it's intentional. I just think it's like the way he's moving his units. But even still, they get good impact into the Marauders and also kind of surge forward. They overrun into the Marauders here. The Marauder Horseman, Hound's not going to do much, and Franz is just dominating this point. I don't think Nurgle's going to be able to secure the back point either. I do think, if I had to, guess at this point in the game, I think it's going to be a victory for the Empire. We see Kugath waddling over, complete potato, Free Company Militia. There's 3 of them here, all of which, including Sterling's Revenge. All right. And Franz, once again, showing these cultists who's boss. He's banishing this foul Nurgle corruption from the lands of the Empire. And these are both very good factions. Nurgle is actually like a top 4 faction right now. They're doing really, really well. Winning tournaments and being seen at high level play, and so is the Empire. Empire is good, but if you like ban the landship, honestly, Empire is manageable. Like you guys have seen in my recent SFT, I beat 2 really high ranked players, one of which was the #1 ranked player on the leaderboard, using Khorne against Empire. So Empire's not like so dominant that it's going to be, they can still lose to even lower tier factions because Empire is very much like a finesse faction. You could still throw games pretty easily because of the durability of some of their units, and the positioning is very, very important with them, as well as Cavalry micro. But Franz getting in with Galmaraz and actually giving the dirty to old Kugath a little bit. He does have that magic damage and anti-large while Galmaraz is popped, so that's going to be doing some work. I would actually probably prefer it for Franz if Galmaraz was just a permanent buff. Like, make it weaker. Make it to be like 8 bonus first large and half the buff it gives, and just make it be like kind of like the Borderlow Trident that, what's his name, that Alberic has. I think that would be really cool. Like, having it be inactivated, like, he's literally wielding it all the time. Yeah, just my 2 cents. But even still, on the back point here, we do see the Empire take this as well. Pretty much no chances for Subutai here. We got multiple spearmen here, and if Karl Franz needed to, he could just occupy, he could tie up Kugath probably for the remainder of this game, and though he might break eventually, it would be enough time for the Empire to hold the points, right? Empire also has Knights of the Blazing Sun and Black Rose here. There is a cultist just, you know, with spearmen, a lot of state troopers coming up, as well as another Knight of the Black Rose. And Franz is going to be pulling back, and I think, you know, we could probably call GG here. So Cavalry coming in, Hound's going to get routed off. Spearman will hold for sure. Kugath not going to be able to get there in time. Eric Cartman trying his best. It is a 2-cap for the Empire. And yeah, I mean, Subutai does have a lot of pressure coming up, but FPOD has pulled the value lead and I think is actually ahead. Like, he's crushing a lot of isolated positions of Nurgle. And Kugath may have paid for himself. We'll actually have to see in the breakdown. But that was a very good game between 2 top players. Very, very fun stuff. I don't know. Yeah, I know he likes Kugath 3,700 value. It makes it hard to criticize Kugath, but I can't help but think his mobility issues were a problem. But man, he did so good. 3,700, I guess that's the way. I don't know. That's a lot of value, guys. That's really good. Franz at 27, so he paid for himself. Knights of the Black Rose did good. Wagons, the blessed 69 of Sigmar. Hell yeah, dude. He knows how to party. And 2,100 on those Knights of the Blazing Sun. Somebody was, you know, eating their Wheaties. And yeah, Pestigors are good. It was a close game. Honestly, could have gone either way. It just came down to some objective play and all that good stuff. I think maybe if Subutai had held on to his back objective, maybe anchored it a little bit better with some cultists or something, and just had, like, that's the thing. That's really the finesse spot. If you're going to go with Kugath, is making sure you have ample defenses on like 2 points and just cackling, you know. But yeah, GG, well played. Really good match there between those champs, and we'll see you guys next time.